All right, we are back with our NFL and college football recap show. It's just Grant and I. Grant, over the weekend, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl did not go BYU's way.
It felt like, yeah, man,
Hawaii
it felt
Bowl.
like
It was Hawaii Bowl 2.0. We talked about this.
it really was. Our day game theory, hashtag Ben Criddle, you know what I'm saying, comes through again. We talked about that pregame. I mean, this defense is so beaten up and so like a shell of itself. Like, I knew it was going to be points scored, and like you called the over. You were on that since the beginning, even in a rainy day, which most people would be scared of that. But you called that.
Dude, that's
Like,
perfect. Run the ball. That means more running. As long as
yeah,
that
I mean,
ball was being ran, that over was hitting because BYU was, they gave up what, 7 yards a carry?
yeah, I mean, like in Tyler Drew, I think had like 9 yards of carry or something like that after the game. Like
Yeah.
it was just insane. So costly turnovers at the end, man. Like not much you can say other than a bad performance. It is what it is. But I mean, we look to next year. Honestly, hopefully Tyler Drew comes back and then build on this building block. But yeah, it sucks to lose to what many would consider an inferior opponent for sure.
Yeah, and after this game, I mean, it was horrible. If anybody watched the game, it was horrible. There's nothing worse than getting beat by someone just pounding it down your throat, like how Ohio State lost to Michigan. There's no worse way to lose. I'd rather get, Pat Mahomes throwing 600 yards on, like, you're just like, all right, they beat us. But when someone's just, exactly what they're going to do and you still can't stop it, that's where the problem is. I mean, we talked about this before, kind of talked about it a little bit with Ben Criddle. Defensive coordinator's gone, right?
I don't think so. Like, there's no way he's getting fired. Like, unless he gets a job somewhere else. Like, unless they kind of are like, hey, like you should probably take a job, any job that comes up type thing. But no, man. Like, I think he stays. Like I said, unless that happens. And here's the thing: I do give some grace in the fact of like it was atrocious, the defense for the last few games. But again, all three starting linebackers are out. You have your starting safety out. You have multiple corners out for the season. You have multiple defensive linemen and season-ending injuries. So, like, the depth isn't there yet. If they had depth, like, more impressive depth, I would say, like, yeah, I would say it's, you're gone.
Yeah.
But you can lean on the crutch of the fact that you had so many injuries. Like, it almost, like, doesn't count these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, for his, like, hot seat ability. You know what I'm saying?
Criddle put out a quick poll. He said, if Jaren Hall is healthy and plays, does BYU win? I actually think they do.
I do too. And not that Baylor didn't have like the worst game, but he was
was fine. I mean, he's Alex Smith of college football.
Yeah, he was average, right? He did what he's supposed to do. He was slow out of the gate, which I think Jaren would have for sure helped in, and like let them kind of get into their rhythm and their tempo where they could possess the ball. That's the unfortunate part is we let them kind of pull Coastal Carolina on us and play their style of game, and that's I think what eventually ended up biting us in the butt. You know what I'm saying? So with Jaren Hall, I think you start faster. I think you have more sustained drives. I think you have and to be honest, his long ball game, it was not impressive. He was sailing throws. At least Jaren Hall will, at least make it a 50-50 catch, right?
Exactly.
Where he'll give his guys an opportunity. So those foul balls were rough. Like Aaron Roderick talks about, where it's like useless. Like a foul ball does nothing. Overthrowing your guy, and he overthrew Gunner like the first 4 long bombs he threw. So like not even close. So we're in that situation where I think if Jaren had played, I think we play a much more efficient game and we kind of get them out of just being able to possess the ball. But again, they ran it down our throats. They could do whatever they wanted. So like it probably would have still been close, but I think we do edge that one out.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when that spread was about 6.5 still, even with Baylor starting and everything. But yeah, and terrible way to end the season. It was a great year, 10 wins, but just sucks the way it ended. Let's move on. Bowl season's been awesome. It seems like every over's hitting, every underdog is winning. I mean, it's been great. But also, shout out to YouTube TV finally getting ESPN back. We had to, I tweeted this out. My grandparents had World War II, the Great Depression, and I had 1.5 days without without ESPN during bowl season.
It's a rough life, man.
You tell me what was harder.
Exactly. Honestly, I don't think people can. And again, like it would be a close call for sure. So
yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, not really much to talk about in college football. We'll have a pretty long show. We'll have some other people on come next week, do a big college football preview and get all that out of the way. Let's switch to the NFL real quick. Let's talk Pats Colts. Saturday night, weird time for that game. It's been so weird with the NFL lately.
Yeah,
Pats go down. They were 20-0, right?
Yeah, they were down 20-0, or at least 17-0.
And that's what I wanted to see all year. After that game, I am way higher on the Pats than I have been in the past because they showed they can actually come back. Mac Jones, if he can spread it out, he can throw far if he needs to. 20-0 was a little too much of a deficit for them. The issue in that game wasn't Mac Jones, wasn't any of that. Like early on, it was. He threw some horrible picks. The fact that they kicked that field goal was the problem.
Yep, exactly. And honestly set the tone for everything, right? Like what you said. Mm-hmm. It just seems like we've been waiting for this because it almost feels like Mac Jones, like you said, has been on cruise control in these games where he's just like, I hand it off, I throw these check downs.
Yeah, he's in that Teddy Bridgewater role when he was at the Saints.
Yeah, and he's wearing 2 gloves, maybe even 3 gloves some of these games, right? Just, depending on the cold.
As a glove hanging out the belt,
But it's just funny, man, because, like, this is what we were waiting for, and we did see a lot of response from Mac Jones. So, again, what attribute to coaching, natural talent, whatever you want to attribute to, they can get the job done in a multitude of ways, which is what that's what you want to see in a winning organization, a winning team, right? Mm-hmm. And a team that can do something in the postseason. Again, I don't think, if we're saying today, like, if they're a real threat for the Super Bowl this year, I don't think so, based on the fact that the rookie quarterback. That's going to be tough.
I think they're a real threat. I really do. I don't think but if they have to play Kansas City, it's over. I don't think there's any. I really don't think 9 out of 10 times Kansas City's winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, Belichick will have something cooked up for him for sure, but no one's been playing as hot as Kansas City as of late. They've been playing great, and they're back to season, like, mid-season form, what we've seen previous years, I should say, not this year, but previous years. And no, they look great, man. Like, but yeah, the Pats are, I mean, I don't know. Everyone's kind of sold on that bandwagon. I still don't think they're there. But again, I could be wrong. I just don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. Like, if you had to take a team, your top 2 teams to win the Super Bowl this year, would they make your top 2?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat. Like, I think Green Bay is probably number 1 for me right now, based on how they're playing.
Yeah. And Tyler Huntley didn't look bad against Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like, he's a good quarterback. That's the thing, is, like, he's good. He's like the great value brand, or like the Walmart brand of Lamar Jackson. And look at everything, bro. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and then they had RG3 as the 3rd string last year too. That was the hilarious thing too. Yeah, no, Packers are probably 1. Also, I wasn't able to watch the game much, or at all really. I was driving. Bucs lose 9-0 to the Saints. What happened?
It was interesting, man. It was a fun game to watch because Taysom actually had a really good game. So, like, from a BYU fan perspective, he actually played well, and they played him super conservative. As in, like, when they were anywhere in field goal position, they would, like, run just right in the middle, kind of center the ball, almost like a at the end of the game when you're just trying to get a game-winning field goal. Like, that was kind of like their game plan. Mm-hmm. And he had a ton of opportunities for big chunk yard plays that people just dropped. I mean, he had his dime over to the left, but he had multiple chunk yard plays that should have been, like, I'm talking like dead accurate, and were just dropped. So he had a great game, played well. He did exactly what he needed. Him and Alvin Kamara, like, perfect, right? Brady was just kind of frustrated. A lot of his people, a lot of his weapons went out, right? You obviously had Leonard Fournette go out, Mike Evans went out, and Godwin went out, right? So all 3 of those weapons went out in the same game. So that's going to for sure affect your game plan when you're going in trying to score points against the Saints, because again, that defense is legit. So yeah, it was an interesting game, back and forth game. Brady made some key mistakes down the stretch, threw picks when he shouldn't have, when they could have gotten points. They missed field goals, like things like that happened to where they literally shut out Brady, which is insane. But it always seems like he has 1 or 2 of those games a year, and I'm not too worried about it, right? Like he had those games last year where he would get blown out, like by Green Bay that one, or I think it was Green Bay.
The Saints killed him that Sunday night game.
Yeah, the Saints, I think it was. Yeah, the Saints absolutely murdered him last year, and I was like, man, what is happening? And then it didn't matter. So I'm not too worried about it, but it was an interesting game. Moving forward, I wonder if this adds more credibility to the opportunity for Taysom to start long term, even if James comes back, because he's winning games.
That's what Sean Payton wants.
Yeah, he has pictures on him or something, man. There's something going on there. Like, I don't know what the deal is there, but Sean Payton loves Taysom.
Dude, I don't know what it is either, but yeah, no, I mean, it's not bad. Like,
can we talk about real quick though too the parallel between Brady loses his top 3 weapons, scores 0 points against the Saints, Zach Wilson for the Jets literally is playing with backup
Braxton
after
Berrios.
backup. Yeah, Braxton Berrios is like wide receiver 1, and Denzel Mims, who can't catch a single pass thrown to him, as his wide receiver 2, and scores 17. You know what I'm saying? Before obviously the pick 6 doesn't count towards points that they scored, but 17 against Miami, who is also a good defense.
Yeah, so like we should talk about that. Is Zach Wilson better than Tom Brady?
No, but
are we positive on that?
He's showing promise, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like,
no, our Zach Wilson stock slowly on the rise. It's not like skyrocketing, but like each week it gets a little better and better now.
It went from like Dogecoin hype to like fraud and like insider trading hype, like literally into the tank. And now we're like, okay, we lost everything. Let's just see if where this baby can end up. So
yeah.
Like now,
well, and that's the thing is we just kept buying more. We kept buying more. There's nowhere to go but up with this.
True, exactly. And to be honest, bro, that line is like I'm literally daydreaming of seeing Zach with like Jonathan Taylor and the Colts offensive line, what he'd be able to do in play action. It literally would be the greatest thing ever, right? Like that would be the greatest situation he could ever be in. An amazing running back with a solid line. His play action game would take like, I mean, that's where he killed.
So if he would have dropped to the Niners at 3,
I mean, he'd be in a much better situation. I think he'd be starting right now over Garoppolo. I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Zach Wilson would be starting in Sanford, even with Garoppolo there at this point of the season. I think he would have like been sitting for the first 4 or 5 games, but I think he'd be starting now.
Or if he could have somehow dropped to the Pats at 15.
I mean, anyone, bro. I could drop to the Pats at 15, bro, and they could make me at least a 4-win starter. Like straight up, bro. Somehow they'd make. I would throw 3 passes in the game, and we'd win games. It's crazy. I don't know how that's possible.
I need to talk about the Panthers had the big 4th and 1 call. They obviously get blown out by the Bills. Whatever, same old. Cam actually looked good yesterday. I will say that, but because none of this is on Cam, 0 of it. It is all on Matt Rhule. It is horrible. So have you seen like all the stuff? You love BYU, obviously. Have you seen all the stuff with Brady Christensen, what he's been saying?
I haven't seen any specific thing about Brady Christensen.
So he will not start Brady Christensen at left tackle because he said his arms are too short.
Then why draft them? Isn't that why would they even draft him?
They said he's best suited at guard. He's been a left tackle his whole career. And the times he's had to fill in at left tackle for the Panthers, he's done great. I just don't get it. Matt Rhule is just he's horrible, man. It's so bad. Like it's just depressing watching the Panthers now. And then he comes out in his press conference and he's like, "Oh no, that was the right play call on 4th and 1." It's like it's just becoming more obvious every single week that Matt Rhule did not want Cam. That was Tepper's decision.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's becoming increasingly obvious when the organization, coaches, and players are on completely different pages, just like you saw in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much kind of like what you're saying. Like it feels better in New York, but not too much better with the Jets. But it definitely feels like the organization itself, Matt Rhule, and his players are on separate pages, and it's a dysfunctional mess because like coach doesn't want this QB, he wants this QB, organization wants this QB. Players probably want to play for this guy. It's just bad, man. Like it's just a bad luck when you can't even get your players, coaches, and organization on the same page. That should be the easiest thing possible. Like you got to have the same vision to be able to have success in this, especially in the NFL.
I would be shocked if he's back next year. I think Tepper clearly listens to the fans. I mean, we signed Cam Newton back.
Yeah.
So I definitely think he's gone. I just don't know who you hire. I guess Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs wouldn't be bad.
It's almost like the Chiefs gave like Sam Darnold like unworldly powers to just suck, and then like got it back, and then now we're playing normal, and the Panthers have like literally from like again same thing, like start off super hot and then just have been an absolute dumpster fire since.
I'm waiting until Matt Rhule, the final piece of his puzzle to get fired is when he benches Cam for Sam Darnold next week or the week after. It's going to happen.
Look, man, Sam Darnold apologist, man. I just don't know how you can be on that train still. I don't know.
You're gone. Don't get it. Like I mean, the Panthers O-line, that's another thing. What the Panthers need to do is, and we'll close on this. What the Panthers need to do this off season is draft a quarterback that they like a Kenny Pickett kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, but just bench him for the first year and let them be groomed under Cam. Let Cam take the beating from this O-line, slowly build up that O-line. You're not going to win games with these guys. Cam Irving is awful.
Yeah. Are you cool with Kenny Pickett? They drafted him?
He wears 2 gloves. I have a problem with that.
That's what I'm saying.
PTSD from 2 gloves. I don't like it. 2 gloves scares me. You're not going to see a big-time player wearing 2 gloves. But no, but in like seriousness, I do like him a lot. It's him or Matt Corral for me. People are saying Sam Howell's going to be a 2nd-round pick. There's no way by April that guy's not in the top 15, top 20. That guy is for sure going 1st round.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think someone will take a flyer on him, right? Because he was so projected so high before.
I wouldn't hate if Carolina took a flyer on him. If he's a 2nd-round pick, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Sam Howell's that bad, but yeah, he lost all his weapons last year, but all right. Anything else?
Oh man, like good review. Like I said, we'll hit it hard next week.
Yeah, we'll hit it hard. It'll easily be over an hour podcast. We'll get it going this week. We just had to do a quick one today. I have to go to the Hornets Jazz here in a second. So, all right. Thanks for listening. Go follow us on TikTok at CarterCast. Subscribe to the YouTube page, CarterCast, and then follow us on Twitter. I'll put Grant's in the bio, and then mine is at CarterB8. We will see y'all Thursday. Bye.